The third question to ask smokers falls on the back of the first two, of course. The first question being, do you mind if I ask how you got started smoking? The second, why do you smoke now? The third kind of like core kind of set of sort of investigative questions that we've opened up inside this window is, so how long have you smoked? All right. Now we're going in deeper. Okay. Now we've had the past, we've had the present with the second question. Now in this third question, we're kind of like looking at it over this longer period, the trajectory of their life. Okay. So how long have you smoked? I mean, bear in mind that the average smoker starts age 15. And quite often it's usually later on in life. So we'll be talking, it's very common to have a number of decades here, or quite a number of years. But it may be shorter, might be 6 months, might be a year, might be whatever, but it's typically longer. Okay. So when you say how long have you smoked, we're asking them to really look back and see that initial decision has had a lot of consequences through behaviors. I mean, if you think about, I don't know, exercising or some behavior that you would want to do that's positive for you, if you were like, oh, I've been running now and keeping fit for like 20 years, you'd be like, kudos to you. But if somebody said, well, I've been doing this behavior for 20 years that I'm not glad that I started, that I really wouldn't recommend to anyone else, and I've been doing it for 20 years, do you think that's going to start at some level? There's going to be some cognitive dissonance. There's going to be some kind of sense of a nagging feeling that something ain't right, but without being the person who is nagging, rather it being their own conscience at a deeper level. So this idea of this question, how long have you smoked? When did you get started? If you could go back and start over, would you do it again? And of course, you can ask these kind of key questions as well and follow up. Did you ever try to quit? Why? What happened? Why did you start again? Are you glad you started again? Now, remember, I'm giving you these examples of questions that you would ask one at a time. You only ever ask one question at a time. And it is fine for them to take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour, 5 hours contemplating that question with you, okay? Because you can ask follow-ups to any of these questions. That sounds interesting. Tell me a bit more about this. Oh, you mentioned something really important here. Well, that sounds really significant. Tell me more about that, okay? So you're constantly ratifying, you're constantly going through, and wherever you are in this kind of like, whether you're in the first question, which is in the past, do you mind if I ask how you got started smoking? Whether you're moving into the present, with the second question, why do you smoke now? Or this third one of how long have you smoked? So you're looking back at the whole kind of timeline of your life, of their life, of like when they started. If you could go back and start over, would you do it all again? It's another variation of, are you glad you started? But now we're going back again. We've gone to the past, we've gone to the present. Now we're looking at the totality of their life. We're saying, as you think about it now, would you want to go all the way back and do that again? And then as you can contemplate the totality of your life, did you ever try to quit? What happened? So now we're going to be getting out the blocks and the concerns, the real kind of like worries about being able to make this change. All right. Why did you start again? Are you glad you started again? I mean, look, somebody who's gone through their life and tried to quit probably didn't feel great that they failed. Are they really going to feel glad that they started again? Are they going to really feel glad that they started again? Somebody who's been through their life and made this, and really tried and fallen off the wagon probably multiple times. Maybe not, but it's very common that smokers have tried many times. I mean, I have people who tell me, it's their 1,000th time or their 100th time. All right. So when you ask, how long have you smoked in this context? When did you get started? If you could go back, would you do it all again? This is where this deeper, evaluative, questioning, reflective kind of contemplation of their life now, they're going to start to be thinking a bit differently. Did you ever try to quit? Well, I did. What happened? Just had these cravings. It was so hard. I just felt like I couldn't cope. Well, now they're bringing out the subconscious, deeper elements around smoking, so that later on, maybe this conversation, other conversation, when you'll make an invitation to them to get some help or some support, it's in light of this deeper understanding of, okay, this is the real block. I'm not continuing this habit because I enjoy it. It's not because I think that it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. It's not because I think it's truly transformative and helping me. It's because of this set of feelings, or this worry about cravings that I don't think I can get past by myself. All right. And you're helping them get to this point in their contemplation by asking, did you ever try to quit? Why? What happened? Why did you start again? Are you glad you started again? And remember, just to be very, very clear, if I was teaching this in a course, we would do it over several days, and we would role play this, and we would ask one question, and then we would come back and debrief. I'm giving you examples of the questions you can ask, not so that you can ask them bullet point style, FBI investigation style, but so you know the questions. And please, it's implied that you ask one question and you sit back and you give the person you're with all the time and space that they need to transform. Okay. And that's the third question. How long have you smoked? And of course, it comes on the back of going to the past. Do you mind if I ask you how you got started smoking? Coming into the present, why do you smoke now? And then this third question, how long have you smoked? Which really pulls together stuff. And now it'll start giving a richer kind of the relationship between the past and the present, and this journey of smoking for them, so that they can transform.